everyone, it's Marie from Peachy Paper Crafts and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today. I'm using my Lottie Loves Paper Indigo Blue Kit for this layout and I'm using that one sheet there of the patterned paper from the collection. It's a pink paisley from their Indigo and Ivy collection, and I'm using the two sides of the paper kind of alternating in those strips that you've just seen me cut. I wanted to use this photograph of myself and my son pulling silly faces and doing a silly selfie. I thought the patterned paper worked particularly well with this photograph because there's some flowery patterns on my coat in the picture, and there's also that sort of patterning on my son's hat as well. So I really like the way that looked on that with that photograph, should I say. And it's also, I'm really enjoying at the moment scrapping with black and white photographs. I've found I've done more of those recently than I have done colour photographs. So I've just got one piece of 12 by 12 white textured cardstock there as my background, and I've put those strips on there. What I'm doing now is I'm using the 6x6 pad, the Indigo and Ivy 6x6, and I'm cutting apart part of the cut apart sheets, and I've made that little cluster down there at the bottom left hand corner just after a few of the pieces. And now I'm just playing with some of the other papers from the pad just to sort of look at how I might map that photograph. I do go through quite a lot of options, and I go in and out of that paper pad trying to decide what to do, and in the end I don't think I use any of them. Because the background paper is so quite busy, I didn't want to sort of detract from that busyness or have more busyness on the page behind the photographs, and it just ended up looking a little bit too heavy, a little bit too fussy. So I end up taking them back out. While I'm just trying to decide though, I take my strips of paper, put plenty of double-sided sticky on. I'm still using up this reasonably horrible double-sided sticky that was ordered in error. I like the finger lift tape because it just has an extra bit of backing that you can get your fingernail under, which helps you to lift the backing off, and it makes it much easier. But unfortunately it didn't, it got the wrong one, got ordered, I'm not quite sure how. So just putting plenty of double-sided sticky on there, and to get these straight, I am wondering about investing in a T-ruler, but for now what I do is I use the lines on my purple cut mat there just to help me line it up to make sure it's straight. And the worst thing in the world is when you do strips of paper and they're meant to be straight and they end up wonky, or just that little bit wonky, and then they don't look good at all. This collection I'm absolutely adoring using. I'm going to do a video of all the layouts I've made using this Indigo Blue kit, just to show the versatility of the kit, because on first glance, as the kit arrives, it looks very blue. It's called the Indigo Blue kit, and it did look very blue. But actually these ones have got those pinky shades in, so I do like to use a nice pinky shade whenever I've got the opportunity to do so, when I'm in photographs, because ordinarily I do end up using lots and lots of blues on my son's layouts. So what I'm doing right now is using some of the alphas that came in the embellishment kit. Not alphas, sorry, these are the phrases, and they're a rose gold and they're absolutely gorgeous. They're a puffy, foamy words, and they stand out beautifully and coordinate with that paper. And then I'm just popping down this bottom corner cluster that I'm doing. So there's a tag there, there's a little bit of the cut apart sheet, a pink one, and then what I do with the final piece is I take a small amount of foam and I prop that up on a bit of foam, just to give it a little bit of dimension in that bottom corner, and there that goes. So what I'm doing now is just matting my photograph. I have decided to not use any layers behind it. and I am just going to use a piece of vellum to give it a softer edge. When I use vellum to back photographs, I do like to tear the edges. I use a ruler so it's reasonably straight, but it's also not perfectly pristinely cut. I like a little bit of roughness to it. And then in the end, I choose this blue from the 6x6 paper pad to back my cut file with. And I just tuck it in behind the vellum so that it's there, but it's not really obvious. It just tucks in nicely, slightly wonkied off to one side, just so you can just see it poking out, and it blends nicely with the blues in that flowery paper that I've used on the layout as well. So I'm just propping that up on a little bit of adhesive foam to make it pop off, so that I can tuck a few things underneath it should I choose to do so. And then what I'm doing now is just using my wet glue to stick down various bits of papers from the cut apart sheets and various embellishments as well. I do put that foamy flower on there, and then I do change that in the end because I can't fit both of them on, and I do prefer that larger one. So I'm going to put the larger one up there in that top corner. I'm just going to re-stick these down now I've changed my mind as to where everything's going, and I'm going to pop that one up there instead. It gives a nice balance so that there's the flower at one side and the title down at the bottom. I'm using these acetate words to pop down there under that photograph on that lighter pinky paper. So I've got one that says delightful, and then a few other different phrases and bits and pieces. I pick out all the pinky ones and all the green ones, the blue ones, and there are some, I think there's some with maybe a little bit of purple on and some gold. I keep those for another layout, and I use these see-through ones on this one. They're softer, which fits nicely with the backing paper again, which is quite, whilst it's reasonably bold, it's also reasonably soft because of the nature of it looking like watercolour. So I put 3 up at the top and I put 3 at the bottom. Spend a little bit of time deciding which way round they're going to go, and which are going to go at the top, which are going to go at the bottom. And I think I've decided that's where they're going to go. So now I'm just looking at the sticker sheets, and I found a few more phrases that I want to pop in different places, and a couple of little butterflies as well that just add to that layout, make it look really pretty. Moving lots of things around just till I'm happy with the placement of all those different elements. So that butterfly moves up to the top, and then I put a bigger one at the side there. Sometimes there can be things that you really like, that you really want to put on, and they just won't fit. So rather than putting something on there that doesn't quite work, I'd rather leave it off. But I do like to put quite a few embellishments on my layout, so this kit's worked really well for me, because I did buy lots of the add-ons to make sure that I had lots of different pieces that I can put in different places. The last couple of things that I do off camera are to add a few different peachy pinky coloured enamel dots and a little bit of cheesecloth tucked under the photograph, just to add that extra bit of softness. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.